Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Gemini season. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus always apply to all of the zodiac readings. And if you are curious what your placement is, you just need to Google your birthday. You need to look up your birth chart if you want to get a more in-depth version. All right, Gemini, let's see what we've got going on for you. What is happening for Gemini? Interesting. We have 3 cards. All right. Ooh, you might have a passionate new encounter. It could be a really intense time for you in the love department. There could be somebody that really sparks your fire. I like that for you. So I feel like you're entering kind of a mysterious phase. You could be connecting to a Scorpio as well. This card's all about following your passions. So where or what are you passionate about? I feel like by following your passions, you kind of step into your calling, or you step into maybe some sort of new destined path for yourself. So I would definitely explore things that have to do with your passions. And Spirit wants you to kind of incorporate a sense of wonder. All right, so it's really important that at this time you start to follow your dreams. I feel like there could be some things that have been pushed on the back burner, right? Sometimes we have adult responsibilities that we've got to take care of, you know, paying bills, going to work, all that fun stuff. So this is an indication that, yeah, that stuff's important, but you also need to follow your dreams. So where are the sparks of creativity or inspiration? Are those stifled at this time? Is there something within you that is trying to wake up? All right, heroism, the moon in Leo. So I feel like you're going to have some sort of challenge, right? When don't we have challenges? Come on, it's part of life. But that you're going to need to let your inner hero out. So that's funny. They're showing me a clip from Spider-Man, the one with Tobey Maguire in it. And he's kind of backed into a corner. He's feeling like he's defeated, but it's like something within him awakens and he realizes that he's stronger than he thought he was. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of challenge that's presented to you during your season that's going to show you what you're made of. So you're going to overcome this challenge. So don't worry about it too much. And you could be having a change of heart somewhere and need some sort of reevaluation. It could be in relationships. It could literally be anywhere. It could be that maybe you're going to follow your passions instead of have things on the back burner. So wherever that happens to resonate during your season, I feel like you're going to be kind of called to go in new directions, and that's important. So wherever the challenge happens to be, part of it could be in facing your shadows, and I just saw a crow fly outside in the window. So crows could be significant to you as well. The shadow card is all about facing your fears, right? It's like, what if your deepest, darkest secret or your skeletons in the closet were exposed? What would happen? If you own your shit, if you own all of the darkness that lies within all of us, right? Because we all have a shadow aspect to us. And you own that, and you're like, yeah, that's part of who I am. It's part of who I am, but it's also part of, you know, what got me here today. Usually your shadow self is something that we fear being exposed, or we fear it because there's shame, guilt, or regret attached to it. So if you own that aspect of yourself, and you don't let it control you, you don't let it manipulate you, and you say, yeah, it's part of me, but it doesn't define who I am going forward, people can change, then it's something that I feel like you can work through. In its place, we have Avalon. So I feel like you're going towards something that feels like, they're giving me the word clandestine path. That's interesting. I feel like you're going towards something that feels like heaven on earth, peace, bliss. Unity is also another one that they're giving me. So you're going towards something that's so much better than maybe what you feared. So I feel like that also incorporates your dreams. It also incorporates inner healing work that you're doing on yourself. And it also incorporates letting go of judgment, right? Freeing yourself and being your own hero. Earth Chalice. All right. So air signs, Gemini's an air sign. You guys govern the mind. I actually looked up what body parts Gemini governs. One of it was the lungs, right? Hang on one sec. Apologies, I have terrible allergies right now and they're kicking my butt. So Gemini governs certain body parts, one of that being the lungs, right? They're very free thinkers. They're very high energy people a lot of times, can be kind of vocal when they want to be. And they also govern the arms and the hands. So you might talk with your hands a lot. You might use gestures a lot, things like that. Creating things with your hands, tangible things. So what's funny is the earth chalice is all about being grounded. Are you way up in the ethers, or do you need to come back down to earth and kind of get grounded, get centered so that your dreams can take off? I also feel like the earth chalice tells us that sometimes we need to get out in nature a little bit more, right? As the weather improves in summertime and things like that, depending on where you watch me from, you might be going in the opposite. You might be going into winter or something. But I feel like what's happening is Spirit's trying to tell you that in order for you to get back on track, you got to ground your energy. You can't be always up in the ethers. Sometimes we've got to bring our thoughts down and make them tangible, right? So that we can make things work out for us in the long run. So you could also be burying something, right? Because we have the reevaluation card, or having a change of heart. So what's funny is just as I looked at the timer, it was 555, and that's all about change. So you could be seeing the number 555. It's telling you that changes are underway. Sometimes they're big changes, sometimes they're small changes, but change is important. Otherwise, we get stuck and stagnant in the temple of the sun. So you are due some sort of new beginning, it looks like. And I feel like it could be anywhere. It could especially be in love, because that comes out with the change of heart. Maybe you've been with somebody and it's not a good fit. Maybe you guys have grown apart. Maybe something doesn't work. You're unaligned with each other. So really kind of come to grips with what in your life needs to change so that we can make some forward progress. All right, Spirit, show us what's going on during Gemini season. Maybe if we could shuffle the cards today. What do we need to see for Gemini season? All right. Ooh, Page of Swords. So there are some things that I feel like you're really curious about. Maybe it has to do with things that are like hidden beneath the surface, right? That comes out with the shadow aspect and following our passions. So there's something that I feel like Spirit's giving me, like turns on a switch, or it's like something that turns you on mentally. It's like stimulating. It's something that you gravitate towards. It's something that you really are passionate about. Those are things that Spirit's trying to get you to follow. What are you naturally curious or excited about? Those are things that Spirit's trying to awaken. And I feel like it's going to take some teamwork to make your dreams work, literally. I feel like you may have to collaborate with others. Maybe that's something you really don't want to do. Maybe you're ultra independent and it's like, I hate working with other people. I just want to do things on my own. I feel like by working as a team, you're going to get results faster. So it might be really important. You have the sun and you have the temple of the sun. So you do have some new beginnings, but I feel like you first have to close a chapter, right? Something has to almost be buried or tucked away permanently. You have to be done with it so that this new option or opportunity can come in. I also feel like love is something that is kind of coming into play for you. The sun tells us that we have a fresh start and a new beginning, success, accomplishments, joy, but it's also a card of marriage and union. So that could be something that's coming in as well. But you've been dealing with a lot of heartbreak, pain, backstabbing, and betrayal in the past. So maybe that's where you're having a change of heart. It's like, I don't want that anymore. I want to go towards something else. So the Ten of Swords tells us that that's collateral damage, too much, and we've got to let it go. You might be stepping into your divine energy or welcoming in a divine counterpart, the Emperor. So some sort of bold, calculated risk is coming, and you're going to have to kind of align everything in order to actually achieve your goals. But I feel like it's very possible. You do have some sort of reward coming in for you. So the Six of Pentacles would tell us that we have a pay raise, promotion, or more money coming in. So who couldn't use more of that, right? It's always a welcomed blessing. But the Six of Pentacles tells us that we're going to be generous with what we receive with people less fortunate than us. So it's like you get to be able to pay it forward, and I love that. You do have the Lovers, and that's your energy, Gemini. So this tells us that we have a decision to make about love. We know that because we have the Change of Heart card. So I feel like you're going to be going after things that you feel like are solid, and you're going to be letting go of things that feel like they're on rocky ground. The Nine of Wands. Your guard might be really high, especially where it comes to like letting go of your shadow aspects or letting people see those things, but slow and steady wins the race. So I feel like you're almost stepping into really who you are supposed to be in the time frame for this, but I feel like it's kind of what's the right word? It's almost like you're tiptoeing to get there, like really tiny little baby steps, like, oh, I'm nervous. But something's going to change that to where it's like, I'm all in. I'm going to take that leap of faith, and I know exactly what I want. And the Six of Wands, because you do a victory. Six of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and the Sun. So not only are you due some sort of victory, there could be some public recognition, fame, fortune, reward, because you fought for this, right? Because you're overcoming your demons, you're overcoming your shadow aspects, and you're owning your own shit. So that's going to help you to achieve your goals and for you to be able to be publicly recognized. But that takes an immense amount of courage and strength. So if you're feeling a little bit weak, especially when it comes to love, know that you have a lot of beautiful blessings that are trying to come in. All right, Spirit. What else does Gemini need to see for their time frame in Gemini season? Gemini, what do they need to see for Gemini season? Thank you. All right. So if our guard is super high and we're having sleepless nights and we're worried all the time, we have things that are challenges that we need to work on overcoming, right? That takes courage. So you have the Strength card twice. And that tells us that by facing our fears and challenging ourselves to try a different route, we're going to see things improve, right? And in the love department, I feel like the person that you've been waiting for is finally going to like materialize in your 3D reality. And it could be a wish fulfillment that's coming in for you. Tell them what else they need to see. Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, Nine of Wands again. You're really nervous to let your guard down. And I don't blame you. I feel like there's some things that most people have no idea about you. But by letting your guard down, Spirit's going to reward that bold move and that strength with the right person. The Hierophant is about spiritual ascension and growth, but it's also a card of tradition and marriage. Maybe that's not something you want. Maybe you got to stand up to like your family or somebody and say, no, that's not what me and this person want, and create a whole new world for yourself. So you are closing some chapters and you are beginning something new. Some of this is divinely orchestrated, meaning that it's fated or it's destined to happen. So cut out what doesn't serve your highest good. Remember, you are going to turn your back on something or someone, right? You're going to cut it out. You're going to give it the cold shoulder, and you need to make up your mind what it is that you want, right? And then you've got to stand your ground. So I feel like the Nine of Wands can be that your walls are too high sometimes, but it can also be for protection. This is going to help you go forward. And I feel like once things start to take off, they really take off like gangbusters, right? They're going to go forward quickly. Travel, movement, relocation, purchasing a vehicle, forward progress. My spirit guide said, forward ho! Not like a hoe as in a bad thing, but like you're going forward, and that's the way that it needs to be. It is going to change for you quickly, so I feel like you need to prepare yourself. Listen to your intuition. I feel like that's going to be crucial for you because it leads to your ultimate happiness. Again, I think marriage is in the cards for you if you want it. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's something that's like, no, I could just be committed to somebody forever. I don't have to like go through all the legal paperwork, jargon, BS. Maybe you do. Maybe that's something you're longing for. I do feel like you have an opportunity coming in that is divinely orchestrated. It kind of really looks like it leads to your forever person. If you're already married, great. I feel like the bond is deepening with that person. And for others of you, I feel like if you're single, you're going to meet somebody that you are passionate about, that helps awaken your dreams, that leads to a lot of happiness. Maybe you get to be the hero in your own life and set yourself free from things that aren't working. All in all, it looks pretty promising. You do have some financial aspects that look like they're improving as well. So the biggest message I see for you, Gemini, is that you need to let go of anything that's holding you back, face your fears. You can expose your shadow when you're ready and know that it will be embraced by the right people. And I feel like by you stepping into your authenticity and being who you truly are, you're the hero for other people. It also helps you to have a change in perspective or changing your mind in a relationship that's not working, and letting go of that leads to you finding your ultimate happiness. Have a wonderful season.